Welcome to Module 1 of the Hermetic Laws and Quantum Physics course. Today we begin the work of connecting ancient wisdom with modern science. In Module 0 we built our toolkit. Now we put it to use as we bridge the gap between Hermes and Heisenberg. We begin with three essential questions. The first asks whether the founders of quantum physics actually drew on ancient traditions. Did they find inspiration during their discoveries, or did they look for philosophical comfort only after the math was done? Our second question explores the intellectual lineage connecting ancient metaphysics to the modern laboratory. What threads connect Greco-Roman Egypt through the Renaissance Magi and into the 20th century? The third question is the sharpest. Does this convergence validate deep truth, or is it just an artifact of our pattern-seeking brains? Distinguishing between genuine insight and confirmation bias is the core work of this module. By the end of this module, you will be able to describe the philosophical engagements of 6 foundational physicists. You will learn to identify where their commitments influenced their physics and where later writers projected those influences onto the record. We will trace the Hermetic underground in the history of science from Newton's alchemy to Leibniz and his monadology. You will evaluate the concept of perennial philosophy and apply our 3-level framework to specific historical claims. Finally, you will articulate a reasoned position on whether this convergence is evidence of deep truth or something more nuanced. We start with the record itself. We look at Niels Bohr and his principle of complementarity, where opposites are seen as necessary pairs. We follow Werner Heisenberg to India for his conversations with Tagore, which brought him great comfort as he navigated uncertainty. Erwin Schrödinger's engagement with Vedanta went deepest of all as he argued for the ultimate singularity of consciousness. Wolfgang Pauli and Carl Jung explored dual-aspect monism and the concept of synchronicity through their 25-year partnership. David Bohm worked with Krishnamurti to develop a picture of reality as a single undivided whole called the implicate order. John Wheeler gave us the participatory universe, while Arthur Eddington famously claimed that the stuff of the world is mind stuff. In Section 3 we dive into the Hermetic underground. The founding of modern science was more entangled with occult traditions than you might think. Isaac Newton wrote over 1 million words on alchemy. He believed ancient sages held lost knowledge that he was determined to recover. Gottfried Leibniz integrated Hermetic principles into his monadology, where each part of reality reflects the whole. Even the founding of the Royal Society was saturated with alchemical and Rosicrucian currents that are often left out of history books. Section 4 presents the case for convergent insight. Parallel discoveries suggest that both traditions are tracking the same underlying reality. We examine Fritjof Capra's work in the Tao of Physics and evaluate where he was right and where he may have overreached. The symmetry principle in physics mirrors the wisdom tradition's insight that what is essential does not change when appearances do. Section 5 looks at the perennial philosophy. This is the idea that a common core insight lies beneath all religious and philosophical traditions. We look at the strongest case for this view, and also the critiques from scholars who argue that it flattens important differences. In Section 6, we apply our 3-level framework to historical cases. This helps us sort genuine correspondence from mere vocabulary overlap. The guide also includes recommended media and practices like the dual reading exercise to ground these ideas in your own experience. Your assessment for this module involves a comparative analysis essay where you will choose one physicist and explore their philosophical journey. We will also engage in a debate on whether this convergence is evidence of deep truth or an example of confirmation bias. As we finish Module 1, we prepare for Module 2, where we will begin our examination of the 7 Hermetic principles themselves. I invite you to hold these questions honestly as we move forward. Ready? Let us do the work. May you achieve all the abundance and joy you desire as you begin this journey into the historical convergence. Your inner work is the most powerful thing you can do for the world. Visit us at thegreatworkplatform.com.